Governess. A woman employed to teach children in a private household. Gravitate. Be drawn toward a place, person, or thing. Grinch. Informal, a spoilsport or killjoy. Gunfight. A fight involving an exchange of gunfire. Heartburn. A form of indigestion felt as a burning sensation in the chest, caused by acid regurgitation into the esophagus. Hillbilly. Informal, chiefly derogatory and unsophisticated country person. Imbecile. Informal, a stupid person. Imprison. Put or keep someone in prison. Inasmuch. To the extent that. Jackal. A wild dog that feeds on the decaying flesh of dead animals, found in Africa and southern Asia. Joystick. Informal one, the control column of an aircraft. Kamikaze. A Japanese aircraft loaded with explosives and making a deliberate suicidal crash on an enemy target. Kelp. A very large brown seaweed with broad fronds divided into strips. Kingfisher. A colorful bird with a long sharp beak that dives to catch fish in rivers and ponds. Lackey. Lackeys, one, a servant. Leek. A vegetable related to the onion, with flat overlapping leaves forming an elongated cylindrical bulb. Linguist. A person skilled in foreign languages. Lute. A stringed instrument with a long neck and a rounded body with a flat front, played by plucking. Meatball. A ball of ground or chopped meat. Merino. A breed of sheep with long, fine wool. Metastasis. The development of secondary tumors elsewhere in the body from the primary site of cancer. Microchip. A tiny wafer of silicon or similar material used to make an integrated circuit. Mitzvah. Judaism for a precept or commandment. Nautilus. A swimming mollusk with a spiral shell and many short tentacles around the mouth. Nymph. In Greek and Roman mythology, a spirit of nature in the form of a beautiful young woman. Oceanography. The branch of science concerned with the study of the sea. Papaya. A tropical fruit with edible orange flesh and small black seeds. Pearly. Resembling a pearl in luster or color. Periscope. A tube attached to a set of mirrors or prisms, by which an observer in a submerged submarine or behind an obstacle can see things that are otherwise out of sight. Pernicious. Having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Perversion. The action of perverting something. Physiotherapy. British term for physical therapy. Pizzeria. A pizza restaurant. Populate. Live in a place and form its population. Prawn. An edible shellfish that resembles a large shrimp. Preamble. An opening statement, an introduction. Preoccupation. The state of thinking about something continuously and ignoring everything else. Prim. Very formal and correct and disapproving of anything improper or rude. Programmatic. Relating to a program, schedule, or method. Rattlesnake. An American viper with a series of horny rings on the tail that produce a rattling sound. Receptacle. An object or space used to contain something. Regatta. A sporting event consisting of a series of boat or yacht races. Reprisal. A violent or aggressive act done in return for a similar act. Rescind. Formally cancel a law, order, or agreement. Reshape. Shape or form something differently or again. Revitalize. Give new life and vitality to someone or something. Risotto. An Italian dish of rice cooked in stock with ingredients such as meat or seafood. Sagittarius. A constellation and the ninth sign of the zodiac, the Archer, which the sun enters about November 22nd. Samoan. A person from Samoa. Shamrock. A clover-like plant with 3 rounded leaves on each stem, the national emblem. Shelving. Shelves as a whole. Smut. A small flake of soot or dirt. Sop. A thing of no great value given or done in an attempt to appease someone who is angry or disappointed. Splice. Join a rope or ropes by weaving the strands together at the ends. Spousal. A relating to marriage or to a husband or wife. Storefront. The part of a store that faces the street. Stubble. Short, stiff hairs growing on a man's face when he has not shaved for a while. Supple. Able to bend or move easily, flexible. Swahili. A Bantu language widely spoken in East Africa. Tipsy. Slightly drunk. Tirade. A long angry speech criticizing someone or something. Topaz. A colorless, yellow, or pale blue precious stone. Trickster. A person who cheats or deceives people. Turmeric. A brie. Unchallenged. Not questioned or opposed. Undress. Also get undressed, take off one's clothes. Uninteresting. Not interesting, dull. Vitriol. Extreme bitterness or malice. Welt. A ribbed, reinforced, or decorative border on an item of clothing. Wop. Informal, offensive in Italian or other Southern European. Yaw. Turn to one side or from side to side. Amigo. Informal, a friend. Anode. An electrode with a positive charge. Apparition. A remarkable thing that makes a sudden appearance, especially a ghost. Appetizer. A small dish of food or a drink taken before a meal to stimulate the appetite. Argon. An inert gaseous chemical element, present in small amounts in the air. Arrowhead. The pointed end of an arrow, typically wedge-shaped. Atone. Make amends for a sin, crime, or other wrongdoing. Backhand. A stroke played with the back of the hand facing in the direction of the stroke. Bankroll. A roll of banknotes. Belittle. Dismiss someone or something as unimportant. Beryllium. A hard, gray, lightweight metallic chemical element. Betrothed. Engaged to be married. Bloodthirsty. Taking great pleasure in violence and killing. Boisterous. Noisy, lively, and high-spirited. Calypso. A kind of West Indian music or song, typically with improvised words on a topical theme. Capacitance. The ability of a system to store electric charge, equivalent to the ratio of the change in electric charge to the corresponding change in electric potential. Caper. Skip or dance around in a lively or playful way. Caprice. A sudden change of mood or behavior. Cede. Give up power or territory. Chagrin. Annoyance or shame at having failed. Chalk. A wedge or block placed against a wheel to prevent it from moving. Coerce. Persuade an unwilling person to do something by using force or threats. Combustible. Able to catch fire and burn easily. Comer. A person who arrives somewhere. Condenser. A piece of equipment for condensing vapor. Conjugate. Give the different forms of a verb. Coptic. The language of the ancient Copts, which survives only in the Coptic Church. Cutaneous. Having to do with the skin. Dahlia. A garden plant with brightly colored single or double flowers. Debug. Remove errors from computer hardware or software. Deconstruction. A method of literary and cultural analysis that states that something has many different meanings and emphasizes the role of the subject in the production of meaning. Depravity. Immoral behavior or character. Depress. Make someone feel very unhappy or dispirited. Fentanyl. A fast-acting narcotic analgesic and sedative that is sometimes abused for its heroin-like effect. Freebie. Informal, a thing given free of charge. Geezer. Informal, derogatory, an old man. Glassware. Ornaments and articles made from glass. Gooey. Informal, soft and sticky. Harlequin. A character in traditional pantomime, wearing a mask and a diamond-patterned costume. Headgear. Hats and other items worn on the head. Hemlock. A very poisonous plant of the parsley family, with fern-like leaves and small white flowers. Hep. Old-fashioned term for hip. Hep. Informal short for hepatitis. Honduran. A person from Honduras, a country in Central America. Hydraulics. The branch of science concerned with the use of liquids moving under pressure to provide mechanical force. Hydrolysis. Chemistry, the chemical breakdown of a compound due to reaction with water. Inconsequential. Not important or significant. Indignant. Feeling or showing offense and annoyance. Infamy. The state of being known for something bad. Infertile. Unable to have children or, of an animal, bear young. Insolvent. Not having enough money to pay debts owed. Intergalactic. Relating to or situated between galaxies. Jot. Write something quickly. Light-hearted. Amusing and entertaining. Lookup. Systematic retrieval of electronic information. Middleman. Middleman, for a person who buys goods from producers and sells them to retailers or consumers. Mildew. A coating of minute fungi that grows on plants or on materials such as paper or leather when they are damp. Molding. British spelling of molding. Mufti. A Muslim legal expert empowered to give rulings on religious matters. Mogul. Variant spelling of Mokuel. Mustn't. Must not. Nadir. The lowest or most unsuccessful point. Notepad. A pad of paper for writing notes on. Nutcracker. A device for cracking the shells of nuts. Outboard. And adverb on, toward, or near the outside of a ship or aircraft. Outlier. A thing that is separate or detached from a main body or system. Paltry. Of an amount, very small. Pentecostal. Relating to a Christian movement that emphasizes the gifts 954 pep of the Holy Spirit, such as speaking in tongues and healing of the sick. Pollute. Add harmful or unpleasant substances to soil, air, or water. Precede. Come before in time, order, or position. Precocious. Having developed certain abilities or ways of behaving at an earlier age than usual. Preconceived. Formed before full knowledge or evidence is available. Presumptuous. Behaving with disrespectful boldness. Probabilistic. Based on a theory of probability, involving chance. Pronto. Informal, promptly, quickly. Publicize. Make something widely known. Purview. Formal one, the scope of the influence or concerns of something. Quicken. Make or become quicker. Quicksilver. Liquid mercury. Quince. The hard, acid, pear-shaped fruit of a tree originally from Asia. Racehorse. A horse bred and trained for racing. Ravioli. Small pasta cases filled with cheese, ground meat, etc. Rove. Travel constantly without a fixed destination, wander. Salvo. A simultaneous firing of artillery or other guns in a battle. Spatula. An implement with a broad flat blunt blade, used for mixing or spreading food, plaster, paint, etc. Suffocate. Die or cause to die from lack of air or inability to breathe. Tapas. Small Spanish savory dishes, typically served with drinks at a bar. Tenement. Also tenement house, a large house divided into several separate apartments. Tetanus. A disease causing the muscles to stiffen and go into spasms, spread by bacteria. Thrifty. Careful with money, economical. Tiling. A surface covered by tiles. Tingle. Experience a slight prickling or stinging sensation. Trippy. Informal resembling or causing the hallucinations experienced after taking a drug such as LSD. Tryout. A test of the potential of someone or something, especially in sports. Tyrosine. An amino acid that is a constituent of most proteins and is important in the synthesis of some hormones. Unbridled. Not controlled, unrestrained. Undersea. Relating to or situated below the sea or the surface of the sea. Unopposed. Not opposed, distressing, nasty, horrible, terrible, awful, unchallenged. Vamp. Informal improve something by adding something more interesting. Wanton. Of a cruel or violent action, deliberate and unprovoked. Wedlock. Formal the state of being married. Welterweight. A weight in boxing and other sports between lightweight and middleweight. Whiteboard. A wipeable board with a white surface used for teaching or presentations. Wry. Using or expressing dry, especially mocking, humor. Zambian. A person from Zambia. Zimbabwean. A person from Zimbabwe. Abominable. Very unpleasant and causing disgust. Absolution. Formal forgiveness of a person's sins. Airplay. Broadcasting time devoted to a particular recording, performer, or type of music. Amalgam. A mixture or blend. Ambulatory. Relating to walking. Aramaic. An ancient Semitic language still spoken in parts of the Middle East. Atoll. A ring-shaped coral reef or chain of islands. Barrio. In a Spanish-speaking country, a district of a town. Benzene. A volatile liquid hydrocarbon present in coal tar and petroleum. Blemish. A small mark or flaw that spoils the appearance of something. Brainstorm. Informal, a moment in which one is suddenly unable to think clearly. Brevity. Concise and exact use of words. Broadside. A strongly worded critical attack. Burdensome. Causing worry or difficulty. Cadmium. A silvery white metallic chemical element resembling zinc. Candida. A yeast-like parasitic fungus that sometimes causes thrush. Carnivorous. feeding on meat. Chicano. In North America, a person of Mexican origin or descent. Cig. Informal, a cigarette. Claustrophobic. Of a person suffering from claustrophobia. Cleave. Split something along a natural grain or line. Conformation. The shape or structure of something. Corinthian. Relating to Corinth, a city in southern Greece and a city-state in ancient Greece. Counterterrorism. Political or military activities designed to prevent or thwart terrorism. Crayfish. A freshwater or sea shellfish resembling a small lobster. Cuckold. A man whose wife has committed adultery. Defraud. Illegally obtain money from someone by deception. Detainee. A person held in custody, especially for political reasons. Dyke. Variant spelling of PVQ. Dispensation. Permission to be exempt from a rule or usual requirement. Dowager. One, a widow who holds a title or property that belonged to her late husband. Eaves. The part of a roof that meets or overhangs the walls of a building. Enema. A medical procedure in which fluid is injected into the rectum, especially to empty it. Exploitative. A bold or daring act. Ferment. Undergo or cause to undergo fermentation. Figurine. A small statue of a person. Freshen. Make or become fresh. Frostbite. Injury to body tissues, especially the nose, fingers, or toes, caused by exposure to extreme cold. Full-time. Using the whole of a person's available working time. Gulag. A system of harsh labor camps maintained in the Soviet Union 1930 to 1955. Handyman. Handyman, a person employed to do renovations or domestic repairs. Hellenic. Greek. Hellenistic. Relating to ancient Greek culture from the death of Alexander the Great, 323 BC, to the defeat of Cleopatra and Mark Antony by Octavian in. Horst. Geology, a raised elongated block of the Earth's crust lying between two faults. Immeasurable. Too large or extreme to measure. Immutable. Not changing or able to be changed. Impressionable. Easily influenced. Impressionist. An entertainer who impersonates famous people. Indict. Formally accuse someone of or charge them with a crime. Indisputable. Unable to be challenged or denied. Inquisitor. A person conducting a long, intensive, or relentless period of questioning or investigation. Interceptor. 1. A person or thing that stops or catches someone or something. Ischemia. An inadequate blood supply to a part of the body, especially the heart muscles. Kohl. A black powder used as eye makeup. Kraken. A mythical sea monster said to appear off the coast of Norway. Lancer. A soldier of a cavalry regiment armed or formerly armed with lances. Landau. Historical of four-wheeled enclosed horse-drawn carriage. Licorice. A chewy black substance made from the juice of a root and used in making candies and medicine. Lunge. A sudden forward movement of the body. Meddle. Interfere in something that is not one's concern. Menagerie. A collection of wild animals kept in captivity for showing to the public. Micron. 1/millionth of a meter. Midpoint. A point halfway through a period or process. Monoclonal. Biology relating to a clone or line of clones produced from a single individual or cell. Multiverse. A hypothetical space or realm consisting of a number of universes, of which our own universe is only one. Nibble. Take small bites out of something. Nullify. Make something legally invalid. Oligarchy. A small group of people having control of a country. Omnipotent. Having unlimited or very great power. Overpower. Defeat someone with superior strength. Pagoda. A Hindu or Buddhist temple, typically having a tower with several tiers. Parallax. The apparent difference in the position of an object when viewed from different positions, e.g., through the viewfinder and the lens of a camera. Penniless. Having no money, very poor. Phalanx. A group of similar people or things. Photogenic. Looking attractive in photographs. Plummet. Fall or drop straight down at high speed. Predicate. Grammar the part of. Quaternary. Fourth in order or rank. Quintet. A group of 5 people playing music or singing together. Ramble. Walk for pleasure in the countryside. Revolutionize. Change something greatly or completely. Rhinoceros. A large plant-eating mammal with 1 or 2 horns on the nose and thick folded skin, native to Africa and South Asia. Rickshaw. A light 2-wheeled hooded vehicle drawn by 1 or more people, used in Asian countries. Rollover. The extension or transfer of a debt or other financial arrangement. Romp. Play around roughly and energetically. Sawdust. Powdery particles of wood produced by sawing. Scrotum. Scrota or scrotums, the pouch of skin containing the testicles. Scruffy. Shabby and untidy or dirty. Sewerage. The provision of drainage by sewers. Shoo. Used to drive away an animal or person. Smother. Suffocate someone by covering the nose and mouth. Sprain. Wrench the ligaments of a joint so as to cause pain and swelling. Stateless. Not recognized as a citizen of any country. Stateside. and adverb informal relating to, in, or toward the U.S. Statesman/statsman/ or stateswoman/stats woman/. Stepson. A son of one's husband or wife by a previous marriage. Surly. Bad-tempered and unfriendly. Tarnish. Of metal, become dull as a result of exposure to air or moisture. Thyself. Old use or dialect yourself. Torsion. The action of twisting or the state of being twisted, especially of one end of an object in relation to the other. Touchstone. A standard or criterion by which something may be judged. Tramway. Brit. Trier. A person who always makes an effort, however unsuccessful they may be. Trifid/p adjective technical, a part of a plant or animal, divided into 3 parts by a deep cleft. Tumbler. A drinking glass with straight sides and no handle or stem. Typeface. A particular design of printed letters or characters. Unaccounted. Not taken into consideration or explained. Unbound. Not restricted or tied up. Uncalled. Not desirable, justified, or necessary. Undergrad. Informal and undergraduate. Uninvited. Arriving or acting without invitation. Unpunished. Not receiving any punishment or penalty. Unrecognized. Not identified from previous encounters or knowledge. Untested. Not subjected to testing, and proven. Urethra. The duct by which urine passes out of the body, and which in males also carries semen. Uzbek. A person from Uzbekistan. Vaudeville. A type of entertainment featuring a mixture of musical and comedy acts. Verve. Vigor, spirit, and style. Vex. Make someone annoyed or worried. Watchtower. A tower built to create a high observation point. Waveform. Physics, a curve showing the shape of a wave at a given time. Weighty. Weighing a great deal, heavy. Workbook. A student's book containing instruction and exercises. Workspace. Space in which a person or people can work. Zephyr. Literary, a soft, gentle breeze. Abstracted. Not concentrating on what is happening, preoccupied. Adversarial. Involving conflict or opposition. Amiable. Friendly and pleasant. Antagonism. Open hostility or opposition. Antebellum. Occurring or existing before a war, especially the U.S. Civil War. Apathetic. Not interested or enthusiastic. Artiste. A professional singer or dancer. Backwater. A stretch of stagnant water on a river. Ballistics. The science of projectiles and firearms. Bequest. A legacy bequeathed to someone. Billiards. A game for two people, played on a rectangular cloth-covered table with 3 balls. Biodegradable. Capable of being decomposed by bacteria or other living organisms. Biosynthesis. The production of complex molecules within living organisms or cells. Blasphemous. Disrespectful toward God or sacred things. Briton. A British person. Bureaucrat. An official in an organization or government department who is seen as being too concerned with following administrative guidelines. Chipper. Informal, cheerful and lively. Chipper. A machine for chipping the trunks and limbs of trees. Cliffhanger. A dramatic ending to an episode of a serial drama, leaving the audience in. Cline. A continuum with an infinite number of gradations from one extreme to the other. Clunky. Informal, one solid, heavy, and old-fashioned. Colosseum. Variant spelling of Colosseum. Commoner. One of the ordinary or common people, as opposed to the aristocracy or to royalty. Contemporaneous. Existing at or occurring in the same period of time. Cutthroat. Fierce and ruthless. Deceptively. To a lesser extent than appears the case. Demography. The study of the structure of human populations using statistics of births, deaths, etc. Devilish. Evil and cruel. Disloyal. Not loyal or faithful to someone or something. Earthen. Made of compressed earth. Eccentricity. The quality of being unconventional and slightly strange. Emissary. A person sent as a diplomatic representative on a special mission. Erectile. Able to become erect. Eyelash. Each of the short hairs growing on the edges of the eyelids. Flashpoint. A point or place at which anger or violence flares up. Forego. Variant spelling of forego. Forego? Slash for gi/p verb, forgoes, foregoing, forwent/forwent/ past part. Fortification. A defensive wall or other structure built to strengthen a place against attack. Jail. Frit. Grainy. Consisting of grains, granular. Greenery. Green foliage or vegetation. Gynecology. The branch of medicine concerned with conditions and diseases experienced by women. Heighten. Make or become more intense. Henna. A reddish-brown dye made from. Hexagon. A plane figure with 6 straight sides and angles. Hock. The joint in the hind leg of a 4-legged animal, between the knee and the fetlock. Hawk. Informal pawn an object. Husk. The dry outer covering of some fruits or seeds. Iberian. Relating to Iberia, the peninsula that consists of modern Spain and Portugal. Bean out a person from Iberia. Implicate. Show someone to be involved in a crime. Implore. Beg someone earnestly or desperately to do something. Indigestion. Pain or discomfort in the stomach caused by difficulty in digesting food. Infarction. Formation of dead tissue because of failure of the blood supply. Intonation. The rise and fall of the voice in speaking. Islamophobia. A hatred or fear of Islam or Muslims. Kaleidoscope. A toy consisting of a tube containing mirrors and pieces of colored glass or paper, whose reflections produce changing patterns when the tube is rotated. Keypad. A small keyboard or set of buttons for operating a portable electronic device or telephone. Kimchi. A Korean dish of spicy pickled cabbage. Lactation. The producing of milk by the mammary glands. Lock. A lock. Lumpy. Full of or covered with lumps. Lyricist. A person who writes the words to popular songs. Malaise. A general feeling of unease, bad health, or low spirits. Meatloaf. Ground or chopped meat baked in the shape of a loaf. Menial. Of low status and requiring little skill. Methinks. Old use or humorous it seems to me. Montessori. A system of education that aims to develop a child's natural interests and activities rather than use formal teaching methods. Mountaineering. The sport or activity of climbing mountains. Napalm. A highly flammable jelly-like form of gasoline, used in firebombs and flamethrowers. Neath. Literary beneath. Necessitate. Make necessary. Negation. The contradiction or denial of something. Neurosurgery. Surgery performed on the nervous system. Neutrino. Physics: a subatomic particle with a mass close to zero and no electric charge. Olden. Relating to former times. Oneness. The state of being unified, whole, or in harmony. Opacity. The state of being opaque or difficult to see through. Otherworldly. Relating to an imaginary or spiritual world. Overdo. Do something excessively or in an exaggerated way. Overdraft. A deficit in a bank account caused by drawing more money than the account holds. Pantyhose. Women's thin nylon tights. Parentage. The identity and origins of one's parents. Pentecost. The Christian festival celebrating the coming of the Holy Spirit to the disciples of Jesus after his ascension. Pigmented. Colored with or as if with pigment. Practicable. Able to be done or put into effect successfully. Progenitor. An ancestor or parent. Qua. Formal in the capacity of, as being. Quiver. An archer's case for carrying arrows. quiver. Shake or vibrate with a slight rapid movement. Reflexive. Grammar of a pronoun, referring back to the subject of the clause in which it is used, e.g., myself. Refuel. Supply or be supplied with more fuel. Reminisce. Think or talk contentedly about the past. Roadster. An open-top car with 2 seats. Salesperson. A salesman or saleswoman. Shad. An edible herring-like sea fish. Shiite. A follower of the Shia branch of Islam. Shiraz. A red wine made from a variety of black wine grape. Shitload. Vulgar slang, a large amount or number. Skylight. A window set in a roof or ceiling. Snip. Cut something with scissors using small, quick strokes. Sew. Dated, informal, a very small amount of money. Spool. A cylindrical device on which thread, film, etc. can be wound. Spurt. Gush out in a sudden stream. Stencil. A thin sheet of card, plastic, or metal with a pattern or letters cut out of it, used to produce a design on the surface below by applying ink or paint through the holes. Stoker. A person who tends the furnace on a steamship or steam train. Subliminal. Affecting someone's mind without their being aware of it. Tagalog. A member of a people from the Philippine Islands. Teak. Hardwood used in shipbuilding and for making furniture, obtained from a tree native to India and Asia. Transducer. A device that converts variations in a physical quantity, such as pressure or brightness, into an electrical signal, or vice versa. Tuba. A large low-pitched brass wind instrument. Turnip. A round root vegetable with white or cream flesh. Uncontested. Not contested or challenged. Upstart. Derogatory, a person who has suddenly become important and behaves arrogantly. Urea. A colorless crystalline compound that is excreted from the body in urine. Voluminous. Of clothing, loose and full. Wonky. Informal for unsteady or faulty. Abed. Old use in bed. Absolve. Declare someone to be free from guilt, responsibility, or sin. Adieu. Chiefly literary goodbye. Agonist. Biochemistry, a substance that initiates a physiological response when combined with a receptor. Aground. And adverb, with reference to a ship, on or onto the bottom in shallow water. Airfare. The price to be paid by an aircraft passenger for a journey. Alternator. A dynamo that generates an alternating current. Antiviral. Effective against viruses. Badlands. Poor land with very little soil. Baronet. A man who holds a title below that of baron, with the status of a commoner. Bearish. Resembling a lang, especially in being surly or clumsy.